You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to reproduce the figure that is displayed at the left hand side of the screen in isometric projection. Now, we have already reproduced the figure in orthographic on our drawing sheet, right? And this is what we have. So what you see at the left hand side is the same as what you see at the right hand side. The difference is that what I have completed it. In the left hand side, we only have the end elevation and the front elevation. But in this particular one, I've completed it by producing the what? The plan. I will together now. Now, before I proceed with my isometric projection, I would like to make some enhancement of this plan here. Is that okay now? Now, what you do is, first of all, I will have to clean up this. Is that okay? And put in the right shape here, right? So this is what we're going to do here. Now, if you look at the figure very well, what we've done initially was correct, but we need to make some enhancement of it. This is the center line that made this figure. But this figure from here to this point, this is the length of the figure, right? So I'll go to the center here at this point, and I am going to draw a semicircle this way. Can you see that? I'll come here also. I'll do the same thing here too. This is what, then I'll thicken it together with that. Consider that. And that is not the end. There's a hidden line here which is telling us to be what? 14. Right? It is 14. The thickness is 14. If you can see at the left hand side of the screen, we have 14 here. Is that again? So from here, I'll just draw my vertical line. That is this hidden line you're seeing here. I'll just enhance that. This is where it's going to end. And this is where it is going to end. So it is ending here. So the thickness 14, we've already done that before. If you project this up, it's touching here, and still you project it up this way. So this is the hidden line at this point, and at this point, that is where to end. Then here too at this point and at this point. So I will just bring it out fully in this fashion. I'll come here too, bring this one fully in this fashion, and I'll close it up. So that is my modification here. So that is what we have there. So that is the plan that we have there. Is that taken now? So we'll now proceed to our isometric projection. So if you want to know how I did this, you can actually look at the comment section. I have pinned it to the top of the comment, or you can check at the end of the video. Or better still, you can still click on this link at the top right corner of the screen here in order to access this particular video on how to produce this in orthographic projection. So let's move to our video for today. Is to produce the isometric projection of this given view here. Is that okay now? So it's the same. So let's proceed. When you hear the word isometric, the first thing you should do is for you to draw your vertical axis this way, and the horizontal axis this way. You can see that. Then I'll do this too, also this way. Hope you can see that, right? So what we should do here is this. The height given here, the total height, you check your figure to be 20 plus 18 plus 6, and that is 44. So I'm going to measure 44 from this base here. So 0, 244. This 40 and this 44 here. That is the height. Are we good? And the length is given as you take it from the front elevation, 50 plus 60 plus 20, that is 130. Measure 0 to 130, from 0 to 130 here. So I'll just only extend this to that point. All together. Then the next one is the width. You check it from here, and that is 0 to 50. From here to this point, like I said earlier, we're going to measure 50. Hope you can see that. Now we are going to take it up. You come here, you take it up. All good. And what you did here, you did at this point too. But in this case, you move this to touch the other end. And in this case, you move this to touch the other end. Then you come here and you do the same thing here too. And you come here, you do the same thing here too. Hope you can see that. So after that, the next stage you want to attack is this side here. First of all, let's draw this. This is the front elevation, so from here we'll start. The thickness from here to here is 20, and I am going to measure 20 from here. From 0 to 20. Right? And this is the center line here. So I'm going to project it up. Straight line. Then this also up. Straight line. Can you see that? Now if you look at it closely, they give us a radius of what? Of 20. Are we good? So I'm going to measure 20, but I know already, instead of measuring 20, I know from here to here is 20 already. Right? Just to save our time. I'll place at this point. I'll mark 20 here. I'll place at this point again. I'll mark another 20 up. Then I'll now take my set square and I'll draw lines to pass through those points. You can see that. Now once I've done that, we'll know that from here to here is 20, right? So I'll mark towards the left and I'll also mark towards the right. Then I'll make it to form my box this way. To form my box this way. So one thing you need to understand is you're focusing on this point. Let me call it point 1, point 2, point 3, and what? Point 4. These are the points you're interested in. And I'll join the longest diagonal from here to this point here. You can see that. Then I can take from 2 here to join this point here. And I can take from 2 here to join this point here. So this is where they meet, at this point here. So what I will just do is, remember I'm focusing on these 2 points, 20, A and B, which is this point here, A and B. Remember that. So what I will just do is, I'll take my compass, I'll place it at this point 4, right? And I'll take it to this center line here, and I'll draw to connect to this point. See what I'm doing? Hope you can see that. Then I'll come to this point here, where it intersects, to 3 here. And I'll do to move to this point here. Now what you should understand is, we're only focusing on N and B. So this is where it cut A, and this is where it cuts B. That's what I'm focusing on. This is where I'm actually going to tick in. So let me tick in it out. Hope you can see that I have taken from these 2 points, and this is where it meets. So that is not the end. Now the height from here to this point here is 20, meaning from here to this point here is 20, meaning from here I'll measure 20 upward, right? I will know very well that from here to here, this is where the 20 is. So at that point, I'm going to draw an horizontal line this way. Draw a line this way. You can see that. So meaning that, and remember there is a fillet here. So fillet is so small, the radar is 4. So I'll just be using my French curve to actually connect those two fillets there. Very small fillets, right? So I'll just connect it up. Or you can virtually use your hand to do that. So let me use my hand. I'll just connect from here, just very small fillet. Can you see that? So I'll just connect from here to this point. Then this is coming way down. So I'll measure 50 to that point, because from here to here is 50, or I'll measure 60. From here to here is 60. So from this point here, I'll measure 60 outward. So from 0, I'll measure 60, right? Which I am going to tick in. You can see that. And what I will just do again is this point here, which leads to this point, is a thickness. So I'll just draw that this way from here. All together. Now the other one also, from here to here, there's a fillet radius of 4. I can just use my hand, and if you can construct it, fine. Because of time. So I'll just connect it to that point. From this point straight down to that point. Hope you can see that. Now the fillet is always at the height. Be careful of remove 6 from the top. Are we good? So let me adjust this one. 6 on the top. So from here, measure 6 downward. This 6 here. You measure it downward. So let me measure the 6 downward. So from 0 here, right? You measure 6 here. So this is where that fillet will be. So let me just draw my horizontal line at that point. So I will draw the fillet here. You can see that. So at this point we have the line. Let me just to be ending at this point here. To be ending where? At this point here. This is where it's ending. That again. Then I'll move this to that point. Hope you can see that. Then here also I've already done this to this point. All together. So we'll move forward. Now what I'll simply do is I'll draw this inward. Alright. I'll also from here take this inward, where I'm going to connect both of them to their meeting here. So at this point, I'll take it upward too, and close it up from here. All together. So this is what we're actually focusing on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I can virtually take this backward this way. That again. Then at this point, I'll take this way. Before we do that, let me just bring this downward first. And this row first. So at this point, there's another fillet here. So I'll just from here, the center point here, I'll connect this straight down to meet here. So I'm going to draw another fillet. This is another fillet there, which I'm going to connect from here to here. It's a radius of 4, so it is so small. That is why I'm not bothering myself there, right? So after that, the next thing you do is that you're going to, from here to here now, is 50, which is from here to here. You take half of 50, which will be 25. So if I come here, or if you don't want to measure half of 50, you can just measure half of 50 is better. So measure half of 50 here, from 0 to 50. From 0 to 50, half of it is 25. Hope you can see that. Half of 50 is what? It is 25. So what I will just do is, that 25 that you're seeing, let me just bring it back a little bit so you see what I'm talking about. So that 25 you're seeing, I'm going to take it up a little bit this way, right? Now if you see what I'm doing here now, from here, the thickness you're seeing here is for this guy here, right? And given to be 32. So I'm going to take half of 32, which is 16, 16. So I automatically know that from this point to this point is 16, or you measure 16 on your meter rule, right? And I'll place it at this point here. I will mark 16 to this direction. I'll also mark 16 to this direction. I will go where I am going to take it up. See what I'm doing? Where I'm going to take it up this way, and also take it up this way. So I'll measure 12 from the base here, from 0 here, and this is 12 here, which I'll take in. Right? And I'll come to this point. I'll close it up. Right? Then I'll come here too. I'll close it up. That's what we have there. So what I'll just do is, the next thing I'll do is, this is the center point here we measured earlier of 25. I'll move it to this point. So it's at this point here, I am going to take the thickness from here to here. We know it's 25. I'll come to the center point I make. Here will be 25 and what? 25. Right? This is 25 from here to here, 16, 16, sorry. So I'll just take this up, and I'll take this up. So what I'm about to do, I'll now move this faint line first from this point to this point, from this point to this point, from this point to this point, right? So what you should understand is, this arc you're seeing here is telling me that what? There is a fillet there. So you can use a radius of 4, or I'll just use my hand just to save time, or if that is the case, just to save time, I'll just draw my fillet there. Then here also, you can use your French cuff. Here also, right? So I'll just complete it out this way. Always use your French cuff to do that, just to save our time. So from here, right? then here, then here. Hope you can see that. Then here. So we brought out that guy. Now the next thing that we'll be doing here is this particular guy here, the one we made adjustment on earlier in the video. So you can just take this a little bit here. The one we make adjustment earlier in the video. So what you should do is, what should really help us is, remember this is the center line here. I move it to this point, right? So I'm going to project it upward just to get the center for that guy. Then I'll just draw my line this way from here. So that's the center line we want to be working with here. All together. Now outside we've done that. Remember, we said from this line here to the center of this figure here is what? 20. Is that taken? So to get the center of this, we need to measure what? 20. So that's what I am going to do. I'll measure 20 from this point. So let me measure the 20. So from here, I'll measure the 20 here. From 0 to 20, right? Then after 20, we have 25. Then to 25. So this is 10, 20, 25 here. That will be the true center of that figure. But before I do that, I would like to take this upward a little bit. Just take this small up, and this one too, small up. Why am I doing that? I'll tell you now. Because the height is given to be what? 6. The thickness here is what? 6. So I'll measure the 6 up here. I'm going to measure 6 up from that point. So from 0 to 6, right? So that's what we have. I easily just transfer the point there. So to this point here too is 6. So see what I want to do now. I'll place my set square, my t square this way, right? And I'm going to draw this line, and I'll also draw this line. Is that okay? And I'll also draw out this line. Is that okay now? That is what I am doing. So what I'll do next is the radius. I will not stress myself. I'll just come from here to this point here. Can you see that? I'll help you and measure it for those who are just looking from the screen. From this point to this point here is given to be what? That will be 16. Right? That is the 16. This 32 here, the 16 here. So I'll place it here. I'll mark. And I'll mark. Right? I'll now take my set square. You can do it in both sides. So I'll just let me focus on that one first. So since I mark 16 there, 16 here, so I'll just move this way from this point, and move this way from this point. Remember, I said from here to here is 16, so I'll mark 16 at this level too, up, and 16 down. Hope you can see that. So what I've done, what I did there is I've marked 16 in all directions. So I'll just bring out my box. So the aim is to bring out my box. So this is to bring out what? My box. And I'll close it up. Right? I'll do the same thing here. Join from this end to this end. And I'll join from this end to this end. So this is where both are meeting here. So I need to draw out this semicircle here because the shape says semicircular end. So if I'm doing that, I can place my compass at this point here, or better still, at this point here, yes. Then I'll draw a semicircle. You can see that. Then I'll come at this end. I'll do the same thing here too. Hope you can see that. So the same thing I did up, remember there's one down here, so I can just bring this down this way. Look at what I'm about to do. I'll bring this down this way. I will tell you what I'm doing here. Then remember this center point, height of 6. From this point here is the point for the base. We've just done the top. Now I want to do down under. I'll just draw from the center line, and I'll draw a line this way. So this is where it is meeting, right? And that point, I'll bring everything down the way I did the other one. Instead of me repeating the same process to waste my time, I will not do that. I'll bring all this edge down. Then I'll just make it form another box on the same line. Faint line, remember? Faint line. So what I want to do here is I'll join the diagonal. Diagonal from this end to this end. How good? Let me make that well placed. I'll just join diagonal from these two ends. Now I join these two. So let's correct that aspect. I'm talking about from here to here. This will be from here to somewhere around here. And this will be from here to here. So I'm only joining these two here, passing to the center. Right? So if I transfer the point down from here, come down here, then from here, you come down here. So look at what I'm about to do. Now take my set square, my compass, take it to this point, then I will draw my semicircle. Then I'll come to where they meet here. I'll do the same thing too. Let me first of all bring this down. I'll just come here and I'll do this. Hope you can see that. So let me taking that out so you see what I'm trying to do here. You can see that. Now aside that, we'll move forward. I'll do the same thing we did here, we'll do it at this end here too. So the same 16 I measured from this point to this point, right? The 16. Then I'll come to this point, I'll make mark 16 again. So it's already here, 16, right? 16, then 16. These are the 4 points I'm focusing on. This, 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 this. So I'll just make it form a box just like I did the first one. So from here, I have this. From here, I have this. Right? So I've gotten those 4 points. So I'll join the diagonal. This to this. So this one to this point here. You have to be very careful when you're here because of you should not make mistakes. So I've gotten these 2 points here. Then I'm going to join where this line and this line meets the box now, just like I did earlier. So I'll connect this to this, and I'll connect this to this. This is where they meet. So at this point, I'll do the same thing. Place it here, and I'll draw my semicircle here. Right? and I'll place it at this point here. I'll draw my semicircle again. Can you see that? Where I'm going to thicken this. So let me thicken that out so you see. So I'll thicken from here to this point, from here to this point, right? And also I'll thicken this aspect too. Can you see that? So remaining this down, I'll just bring this downward this way. Remember, this is where this line meets here, where this diagonal is. I'll just bring it down, right? And this one too, I'll bring it down. You can easily project this. This is where they meet, right? And the distance, just to save our time, the distance from here to here, I'll just transfer it to this end here. And I'll join the diagonals together. Right, right diagonal, and I'll transfer those points. This point to this point, then this point to this point. So all I'll just do is here, no big deal here. I'll just place it at this point, and I'm going to connect this end. Right, you get what I'm trying to do here? Place it here, and I'll transfer the point. This is where I will now close it up. Right, so here also will be thickened. Now we've done this. Now the next thing is this rectangular shape here, right? And I'm going to do it here also. So I'll do this, you know, it is 14 that we measured earlier. So that's from here, just make from here to here. Can you see that? And I'll place it at the center point. I'll mark 14 to the left, 14 to the right. I'll come here also do the same thing, 14, 14. Now the question is, what is the thickness? So we just measure from the center to that point, which is from here to here. From the center here to this point, because this is the hidden line here. This hidden line, this is it here. So I'll just place it here to this point, where I will come here, center point here, and I'll mark. So this is where the line is going to stop. So look at what I want to do now. At that point, I'll just draw a line where the line will stop. That is where I'm going to move the 14 mark. This 14 mark, I'm going to stop from here to move to this point. And the next one, from here to move to this point. Now close it up. And I'll bring it in. Right, so that is what we have there. You can make it more bold if you want to, and so on. So that's what we have there. So we've done this. So what else is remaining? Okay, there's one more thing, which is this line we have here. All right, and what else is remaining? We've done virtually everything we have here. So this is, we'll call it a cam clamp. So this is what we'll do. We've successfully transformed this given figure in orthographic into isometric. So if you have found this video helpful, right, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.